I'm very excited about this part of the show. You may have seen the promo on this channel. Every step is a step for hope. Last year, Old Mutual South Africa began a social running movement to encourage South Africans to get active and healthy through road running. The Move the Nation campaign saw thousands of people take to the tarmac. But then lockdown hit and running activity stopped immediately. Apart from curtailing exercise, the coronavirus has also caused millions of children to go hungry. So now Old Mutual is reworking their running campaign, this time to raise money to feed about 10,000 children for a year. The Move the Nation campaign will see multi-platinum selling artist, that's Kabelo Mabalane, and his coach, Peteni Kuzwayo, run from Johannesburg to Durban. Can you believe it? Each step they'll take will raise funds for hungry children as they aim to raise 6 million rand. Now, you're probably wondering how long it will take and if it's possible. As the starts, take a look at this.
In tough times, I've always turned to running for the answers. There, I find clarity and purpose. In 2019, we reimagined running. Powered by Old Mutual, we moved the nation. And then, everything changed. Stuck inside, the news is bleak. Our children are going hungry. We had to come up with a plan. Sometimes you just have to take a step and do something. So we reimagined running again. And hope with every step was born. 2 runners, 17 days, 600 kilometers. Running from Joburg to Durban. With your help, we'll raise a minimum of 6 million rand to feed 10,000 school children for 1 year. Driven by its purpose to bring certainty during uncertain times, Old Mutual is pledging the first 1.1 million rands. The time is now. Your donation will feed a hungry child.
Play your part, donate.
Yeah, man, certainly worth backing. For more on this, I'm joined in studio now by Kabelo Mabalane, coach Peteni Kuzwayo, and Thobile Tshabalala, who is the head of brand and group marketing at Old Mutual. To the three of you, thanks very much for making time and welcome to the AM report.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you rent a studio because that surely is where we should begin. But, you know, Kabelo, for the longest time, or at least for many people, running is almost this therapeutic process, help you zero in on the world and deal with your environment the way you should. Does it serve the same purpose for you?
100%. I mean, you know, as a recovering drug addict, I had to, you know, there's a void. Having stopped that behavior, there's a void in my life. And I just always felt that to recover from that, I need to fill that void with something constructive. And I found running. Running has done, you know, so much for me. And it's actually such a privilege that I get to use the very same sport that has done something for me, you know, to help other people, which is what has brought us here today.
Lovely stuff. And of course, you couldn't have done it alone.
100%.
There's always somebody in the background really making this happen. And perhaps let me ask you, Peteni, about your experience in making sure that something like that is possible. You know, what kind of handle did you have on being able to see this through?
So, I mean, as Kabelo says, we've found amazing meaning in the sport of running.
Yeah.
Not only for ourselves, but for many others. I mean, having coached thousands of athletes around the country, we found a new mission and meaning. Hard to believe, but we are running from Joburg to Durban for a bigger cause than ourselves. It's amazing how, you know, Kabelo talks about how he found meaning for himself, but this time around it's for others. So this mission is really about raising 6 million rands to feed 10,000 kids for a year by running from Joburg to Durban.
And we'll talk about that in just a moment because I got a few questions. But Thobile, let me bring you in. Old Mutual as a brand, is always seen to be on the move. Right? It's the next thing. Help us connect the dots, so to speak, about how, first of all, you agreed to this, but more importantly, the role that Old Mutual is going to play in this campaign.
I think for us as Old Mutual, we always want to demonstrate our purpose as a brand. And our purpose is really to enable positive futures for our customers, for our communities, and for the stakeholders that actually really have a great respect for this brand. And our relationship started about over a year ago through Move the Nation because we reimagined our sponsorship portfolio last year. So this is a long-standing relationship. We are doing something that is different, that is fresh in the running fraternity. So for us, it was just a natural progression to understand and see how we could possibly, support, the challenges that we're currently facing in this country. We are a brand that always seeks to make a difference in people's lives. Absolutely. So this for us was just a no-brainer.
And what a way to make a difference while also keeping fit. So let's talk nuts and bolts. Running to Durban. I can barely sometimes run up the stairs to the newsroom. Tell us how it's going to work. When do you leave? And I guess a rough estimate of how many steps this will take.
So we leave on the 7th of September, next week, Monday, at 9 a.m. And 9 a.m. is the chosen time that we'll venture out every morning. We're going to do 35 Ks a day. We'll run for 7 consecutive days, take a rest day, and then run for another couple of days, rest, and then do the whole Comrades route on the last day. So that's the plan. And we're taking the very scenic back routes of South Africa, which we've traveled about 3 times, doing a route recce, plotting, guest houses, and just the routes that we're going to take.
Yeah, and that does take me to my next question. The preparation, Peteni, of making sure that, someone's body is able to actually withstand this. I don't take it for granted. You need to really be in the right frame of mind and, of course, physically be in the state to be able to take on a challenge like this.
So I guess, Kablo's got 12 Comrades marathons.
A young 12.
A young 12 nyana. I've got 8. And where it started, he gives me a call. He's like, dude, Aria Durban. In fact, it was Aria Cape Town initially. I was like, I'm fine. But on a serious note, the confidence you need to be able to make that call obviously comes with a history of understanding that we've been down a road of endurance, running, fitness. But you can never be fully prepared for something like this because it's straight out of our comfort zone. Training for Comrades takes a lot, but we're doing 35 kilometers before we do the Comrades. So physically, I think we have done endurance before, but it's nothing compared to what we're just about to take on. And then we've been fortunate to kind of have the history, the experience, but great partners. I think in a venture like this, it is about partnerships, so over and above kind of like the partners that we have in Old Mutual, in kind of like the other guys that are supporting us, we are rallying the country, so ordinary citizens together with corporate SA to come and rally behind us, by kind of donating on a web platform that we've set up called hopewitheverystep.com. And that's what the key thing is. I think for us, there's a big part about when you're on the road, call it day 8 or 9 or 10, where you're on the verge of giving up. All of a sudden you remember the bigger mission and all the people that have rallied behind us. So that's part of the game plan in terms of preps, to always remember that there is a bigger mission, and it just keeps you going. Once your physical reserves, if you want to call it, have come to a screeching halt.
Absolutely. And Thobile, in many respects, Old Mutual is walking the talk, so to speak, or running the talk in this case. Help us distill the message, particularly for other corporate companies that can make a huge difference here. What is the cause specifically, and how practically can people get involved?
We are celebrating 175 years as a brand, and we've come a long way. We've been through so many ups and downs as a brand. And for us this year in particular, it's about how do we actually make a meaningful contribution, to the advancement of society as a general. And I think what we have seen is that brands with a purpose, brands who really demonstrate and live what they actually promise, are brands that are actually quite resilient and that can actually make it into the future. So for us, we're appealing to all corporates to really look deep and dig deep and say, how do we then rally together to make sure that we can help, our government and our society at large to deal with this issue of hunger, because it's a reality in our daily lives. We see it. We see it in our families, in our immediate social circles. And I think it is so important for corporates to think about the greater good of society, because the society actually makes our brands succeed. They make our brands withstand the test of time. So for me, it's quite an important thing for corporates to consider. So I really do pledge and call to Corporate South Africa to really make a contribution to this worthy cause.
100%. Kabelo, you are no stranger to adversity yourself. Help us understand the plight of some of the children that are going to be on the receiving end of this type of aid, right? The numbers that have been touted is about 10,000 children.
Yeah, we're partnering with an organization called JAM, who have really got experience in this, field of work for over 30 years.
Right.
They have almost 3,000 sites around the country and focus on nutrition at ECD level, that age group between 1 and 7. Because of lockdown, with schools having been closed, some of these kids only get to eat at school. And making nutrition, difficult to get to the kids. And we're partnering with this organization to make sure that they continue to do the work that they're doing. The numbers are, it takes 50 Rand to feed a child for a month. And, the numbers are, we aim to raise more than 6 million. I think 6 million is a base. And that's going to help 10,000 kids. I think that was one of the things that really moved myself and Peteni to get involved. I think if anything COVID has done is shown the disparities in our country. And it was very important for us to get involved. And like Thobile said, for this country to work, it's going to take everybody. Civil society, government, corporate, faith-based organizations. And we're literally putting our lives on the line to inspire hope, to get people out there to understand that it's going to take, a little bit more for us to make this work.
Absolutely. I guess the only question that's left to ask is, Coach, how quickly can I get ready to be a part of this? Sure.
What time does your slot end? It's 8:45 now.
But I need a whole lot more time.
Here's what you can do. You can go to hope at everystep.com and start donating.
Right.
And I'd like to appeal to every South African, to really get behind this cause. Go to the website, donate. Corporates can get Section 18A certificates, to get their tax rebates. The website is up, it's functioning, donation lines are open. So please go to hopewitheverystep.com and start donating now. I mean, they have graciously given us the first 1.1 million, which actually equals out to 1,000 Rand each per kilometer.
Wow, that's fantastic stuff. All right, so it's hopewitheverystep.com.
Hopewitheverystep.com. Donate, donate, donate. We'll do the hard work. You guys donate.
Awesome stuff. Thanks very much for coming through. Kabelo Mabalane is a multi-platinum award-winning artist. We've also got Coach Peteni Kuzwayo, and joining us as well was Thobile Tshabalala, who's also head of brand and group marketing at Old Mutual. To the three of you, thanks once again for coming through.
Thank you.
Thank you.